Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a fun video. We're going to be doing a little palette ranking on this channel. We're going to be getting into an Oden's Eye palette ranking. So I've officially finished using all the Oden's Eye palettes I have in my collection. It is not all the Oden's Eye palettes ever been released or what they have out right now, and some of these are discontinued. But these are what I have in my collection. I've finally gotten through them all, done my first impressions, done my 2 looks on palettes. We're here. Now, they'll probably bring out something in the future that I'm probably going to buy. So eventually, if I get a couple more, I'll do another ranking. But until then, this is my actual Oden's Eye ranking. In this video, we have 9 palettes. So it's going to be a top 9 of the palettes going from bottom to the top, whatever came out on top, which surprised me. I have to say, it did really surprise me what came out on top, considering, which we'll get to in a second. But just because something's at the bottom does not mean it's a bad palette. None of these are bad palettes. The formula is amazing on all of them. It might just be a colour story thing. It might just be a vibe thing that I'm not getting from the palette, and I might just like something else more. So just before we get into the actual tutorial, this look is filmed. It's actually using one of these palettes. I decided to do it on this day because it's like, oh, we're having an Oden's Eye kind of day. But it is filmed. It will be coming up on my channel. No, it's actually probably already up because I want this to be up before this video. So I'm going to assume it's already up. So go hit subscribe down below to see that and to see more rankings. If there's any brands you want to see rankings of, let me know in the comments that I probably have in my collection. I don't have every brand, but you know, if I have anything that has like 5 or more palettes, I will do a little ranking on them. I have like Beauty Bay and Juvia's Place. I might do rankings on those. I've already done Huda Beauty and I've already done Kaleidos, so I think they might be fun. And also my Instagram is linked down below, as well as my TikTok. On my Instagram I post all the up close eye pictures and full face pictures of all my looks, and my TikTok is down there for a little bit of extra content if you want to go give those a follow. So here we are, number 9 of the group. As I said, not a bad palette, not a bad formula, but this is just before they upped their formula game a little bit. I do notice a difference, but it's still a very good formula. But there is a reason that this is at the bottom. This is the Alva palette. I know this recently got discontinued. The main reason is because it's a neutral palette. I just don't gravitate to neutrals really. But if I'm gonna go neutral, this is a vibe I would go for. I love these gold and yellow orange tones over here. It's a bit repetitive, tiny bit, like 1 or 2 of the shimmers we could have done without. I don't usually use this kind of shade Jasmine, like a nude kind of colour, because they usually just blend into my skin. It makes no difference for me. But I probably could have got this down to maybe 12 instead of 16. Just, I don't know, I think it could have been a bit smaller, but it is a gorgeous neutral palette. The colours blend amazing. I maybe would have liked maybe a darker shade in the palette or something like that, because this is dark, but not dark enough for this girl over here. But very nice mauvey tones, beautiful shimmers. The shimmers are each different, but some of them are just a little bit more similar. But yeah, my favourite part is this side. All these golden tones, I think they're beautiful. So yeah, that is number 9. Again, not a bad palette, but just something has to be at the bottom, and it's this one because it's neutral. I forgot to mention I got that one in a mystery box, and I also got this next in a mystery box. This is the Alva 2 Mini Sky palette. Again, the main reason is because it leans on the more neutral side. It is a 6-pan. Now, it's not the only 6-pan. I've got another 6-pan in this group, but that is a bit higher, mostly for the colour story. It is beautiful. There is, I kind of wish, I don't know, maybe for a purple matte as well. I don't know. It's kind of hard because it's 6 pans. Like, I wouldn't get rid of this. I wouldn't get rid of this. I wouldn't get rid of any of them, but I would like a purple matte here, which I can always pull in from somewhere else. But yeah, again, it's a lovely formula. This one is not as shiny as these 3 here, but I don't mind that. I don't think I mind that. It's just, this is more the Oden's Eye texture that I'm used to now, where this is a bit more of like your satin metallic. But yeah, again, number 8, it's fine, it's lovely, it's beautiful, but has to go down a bit lower compared to the rest. Up next has a longer name. This is number 7. This is the Saga of Freyr, Chapter 2, Cat with the Golden Carriage, Cat's Breath palette. This one. So she's lovely, gorgeous packaging, the little kitty cat. I love. And this one opens like a little book, and it's got a mirror. Ooh, that blinded you. Wow. And this is a very odd colour story, but I'm very into this kind of colour story. Now, I know Kaleidos had the Electro Turquoise palette, which I wasn't really into because I was like, oh, am I going to be able to do like orange or turquoise? And if I do mix together, it might look a bit weird. But for some reason with this, I was like, I can do something with this one. I think it's because the shimmers lean different ways. Like this one has like a periwinkle and peach kind of sparkle. Stunning, beautiful. This is the most gorgeous icy white with a little bit of a kind of teal undertone to it. This is like a copper with like a pink fleck through it, and then this gorgeous, this one shocked me when I used it, oh my god. But the mattes, again, you can do an all orange look because you've got like a light, medium, dark, and then your shimmer. You can do an all teal look, or you can do a mix and match, which I did in my 2 Looks on palettes and my First Impressions, that's the one. But yeah, I really like this colour story. It just got beat out by a few other colour stories that I feel like I'll use a little bit more. But I do really like this and I do love it a lot. And if I forgot to mention, there is videos on all of these, pretty much. There should be a First Impressions at least of them all. And I think only one of them doesn't have a 2 Looks on palette, but I think all the rest have a video, 2 videos dedicated to them. Next up is another one that's like a little book. This is a collaboration with Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner. This is the Giant Wolves palette, and oh, it's so pretty. I love this. I had to go for the palette with the doggos. There was 2 other palettes in the collection, which I do kind of wish I bought. I don't know why. I think they were colour stories I would have really liked as well. But I really love this. Doggos. Wolves are doggos, and you'll never be able to convince me otherwise. Well, I mean, they are. But I mean, I would hug one, even though they probably eat me. But this is the colour story here. This is a bit more grungy though. There's a couple more shades in this one here as well. There's a bit more grunge. It's a bit more dark and depth. It kind of gives me, for some reason, the vibes of the Kaleidos Club Nebula palette. That's the vibe I kind of get from this. I think it's the like dark coloured mattes that really give me that vibe. But you've got this gorgeous like olive sparkle. You've got this gorgeous olive matte, darker kind of matte. You've got this beautiful blue here. This shade here is the most interesting, sparkly but very thin sparkles kind of colour. This is a duochrome. That's a multi-chrome. And just lovely textures. It only, again, kind of got beat out by the other colour stories. That's really the main reason. But I actually really enjoyed the looks I did with this and the colour story. I just think it's very fun. So that was that one, number 6. Okay, so we're on to number 5. Number 5 is going to be the Hella palette. This came out also in collaboration with Angelica Nikvis. And this is beautiful. So I kept the sleeve off because I love this black and white kind of vibe off this. And then when you pull it open, it's all colour. So Hella is the goddess of life and death or something, or the afterlife or something like that. I don't really know, to be honest, but I love the packaging. It's so cool. It's very badass. I really like it. And you open it, you get a mirror again. I'll try not to blind you this time. But this is more green leaning, and I love green. Green is my favourite colour, especially this kind of green. But this one's definitely more green leaning. You've got some more neutral greens. You've got some more bright greens. You've also got some neutrals in this palette, and then you've got random pop of pink and like grungy purples down here, which I really like. The pink against the green I love. I did a look with like a green upper and then like a pink lower lash. I think that's the way I did it, and yeah, I loved it. And then these grungy shades down the back here, the look I created with these colours, especially with this one and this dark matte here, oh my god, one of my favourite looks I've ever done. I love this. I think it's so beautiful, but again, it's mostly a colour story thing from here on out, I have to say. But yeah, I really like this palette. I think it's so beautiful. I definitely want to bust it out a little bit more. It's very springy. It gives me springtime vibes. In at number 4, we have got the Oden'S palette. This one here, I love the colour story on this. I really do. I do wish there was maybe 2 more mattes added in here. And one of the shimmers I feel like should have been more metallic, but I think this is the older kind of formula. I think so. This is when they started to transition into the new formula with their shimmers. But oh my god, I love this so much. These shimmers on the bottom are magical, so magical. This is one of the shiniest shades. I'll actually give it a little switchy swatch. Like, that is one of the shiniest colours in my whole collection. You've just got this gorgeous like grey pewter with like this gold fleck through it. The metallic red, that's the one that I think could have been shinier. I would have loved to see that more in the texture of these, maybe not as like duochrome, but just more in that texture. And I just wish there was 1 or 2 mattes. My most used shade in the palette is actually this one, the one that looks the most neutral, which contradicts everything I say, but it's this weirdest grey beige green. It's odd, it's very weird, a grey beige green, and I really love it. Kind of actually reminds me a little bit of this kind of look. But yeah, I really, really like this palette. You do have a black here as well, even though it's a satin kind of finish, but it's still a black nonetheless. It'll still work, and your lighter shade is a shimmer, so we're all good there. But yeah, I love this. Okay, so we're into the top 3. Let me know down in the comments what you think my top 3 are. If you watch a lot of my videos, you probably have deciphered the 3 that are left, but what order do you think they're in? Let me know. In at number 3 is actually the palette that I'm wearing right now. This one is my most recently used palette, but not the most recently released that I own from Oden'S. This is the Oden's palette, and this palette, oh my god, it's so beautiful. The color story is stunning. It is the ultimate Slytherin palette. If you are a Slytherin like moi, oh my god, is that not Slytherin? Tell me now. This shade Luxury is unbelievable. It's so magical and just green and rich and luxurious is the only way I can describe it. I have these 2 shades on me right now, as well as this light white kind of colour here. Very soft look, but you can get weird colours because of this plummy shade mixed with these greens. You can get like a weird grungy, murky sort of effect with a lot of these colours, but you can still get quite, you know, not as grungy kind of looks. You can do nice and soft and light like this kind of colour. But I love it. For a £6 palette, this is how you do it. If you're going to do £6, this is the kind of colour story you want. This is the kind of contrast you want. Lighter shade is a shimmer, darker shade is a matte, and in between shades to transition and blend and funky shimmers. That's all you want. And in £6, that's amazing. I love this palette so much. But the colour story still beat it out. That's coming up. And then the next 2 are actually both collabs. The top 2 are both collab ones. So in at this one, you might be surprised because normally this when this person does a collab, it's usually number 1. So for this one, this is the Perfect World collab. I've got 2 palettes from this collection, so they're both coming up in the top 2, which is actually a really good thing. So this is the Planet Spirit palette from Oden'S and Baddie Bean. Baddie Bean is one of my favorite people in the world. I love her so much. I will pretty much buy any collab she comes out as long as the color story agrees with me. But oh my god, it's so cute. This is all about like the animals and the spirit of the world. And this is your summer carnival palette. That's probably not what she intended for this vibe to be, but this is the vibe I get from it. Summer carnival. Like, perfect. You've got like pink matte with like this kind of pink to green duochrome shimmer, teal and teal. You've got orange and coral, purpley pink, although I kind of wish this was a little bit darker or this was a little bit lighter, more like this color, like the purpley kind of tones. And then you've got this gorgeous pink with this beautiful yellow. It looks kind of gold sometimes, but it's more yellow, and it's actually got like little pink flecks in it, which is beautiful. So stunning. I did a look with this and this stunning. Loved it. Like one of my favorite looks I've ever done. But it's just like this is the Oden'S formula. Like this is it. In these 2 palettes and the Oden's palette, that's the formula you want to go for when you're going for Oden'S. These ones here. So yeah, I adore this palette. I love how bright and fun it is. It just makes me happy. It's like a happy palette. It gives me happiness when I look at this palette compared to her other collabs, which were quite grungy, spooky kind of vibes. This is happy summer. And then in at number 1 is the other collab palette that I bought from that collection. This is the Oden'S and Makeup Just for Fun Flora Story palette. Now you'd be surprised. I'm shocked as well that it made it in at number 1. But I had all my palettes laid out. I had them all open for the colour story, and I was like, if I was to grab one right now to use, what one would I grab? And this was it. If I was gone on holidays and I wanted to grab one, what would I grab? This is it. It's so stunning. It actually kind of looks like the vibe of this look as well. But you've got this beautiful kind of teal to pink to orange multi-chrome here. You've got this beautiful neutral matte. It's perfect. Some sagey greens and lovely teal and some purpley colours. It's the perfect like contrasting colours, muted, done well, and lightest shade is a shimmer, darkest shade is a matte, as I'm going to say every time I'm talking about palettes, because that's what I go for in a palette. That's what makes it very user friendly for me. And that makes me want to only use that palette and not have to pull anything else in, especially for like a first impressions. And 2 looks on palette, I don't want to pull anything else in. So that element is a big pull for me when it comes to palettes. But oh my god, look at it. It's so beautiful. I can do so many different looks with this. I could bring this away on holidays and be very happy. Be very happy with it. This is my look and I'm so happy with it. You know what I mean? So I think that my next holiday, I'm probably going to bring this palette with me because I think this is going to be a very workable palette. It can go neutral or you can go bright and colourful and still muted, and do a bit smoky if you want to, and still have a bit of grunge in there because I like a bit of grunge. That is our number 1 of the Oden'S Eye collection. Again, I'm equally as shocked as you guys. Alrighty guys, so that is our ranking. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. What out of these palettes that I have here, what would be your ranking? Give me your list from, you know, your top down to number 9. And if you have any other Oden'S Eye palettes, throw them in. See what happens. Give me your rankings of your Oden'S Eye palettes and let me know down below. If you did like this video, give me a big thumbs up down below. It's the quickest, simplest and easiest way to give me a little bit of support. Get me around to more people, and also let me know that you like the video, and I will continue to do many more. Don't forget to subscribe down below to see many more videos coming up. We have got more kind of videos like this, chatty videos about makeup, as well as tutorials, as well as declutters. But we still have our declutter series going on, so don't you worry. And oddly, it is the 3rd of July when I'm filming this right now, but I'm already in my head, nothing has started yet, but in my head thinking a little bit about spooky season. So if you drop any hints down below as well if you want to know any of that, but stay tuned and hit subscribe for those. And as I said in the beginning, my Instagram is linked down below, as well as my TikTok, where on my Instagram I post all my full face pictures and close-up eye pictures of all my looks, and my TikTok is down there for a little bit of extra content for you guys. So I think that's everything. I hope you enjoyed the ranking, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.